Claire stands, moving toward the firelight. The letter shakes in her hands as she unfolds a second parchment, one that had been pressed tightly beneath the first. It's a map, faint and old, showing a place she knows well, the edge of the Fraser Ridge. There, marked with Jamie's handwriting, are 3 simple words: "Find our son." The music builds slowly, a haunting blend of strings and whispers. The narrator's tone turns urgent yet poetic. The storm may erase tracks, but it cannot erase destiny. The ink of the past bleeds through every moment of the present, guiding her to where love still lingers. Claire closes her eyes, the sound of the rain softening, almost rhythmic, like a heartbeat. When she opens them again, her resolve is carved deep into her expression. "I will find him, Jamie," she says softly, her voice trembling between strength and sorrow. Even if it means walking through time itself again. A gust of wind blows the candle out, plunging the room into darkness. The only light now comes from the fire, burning steady and alive, the same way Jamie's love endures across years, oceans, and time itself. The narrator finishes, voice fading like an ancient prophecy in every heartbeat. In every storm, love remembers its way home. And Claire, she is ready to follow. The screen fades to black. The faint sound of hoofbeats rises once more. The morning air is sharp, carrying the scent of pine and rain-soaked earth. Mist clings to the hills like a ghost refusing to let go. Claire rides slowly through the narrow trail that winds along the edge of the forest, the map tucked safely inside her coat. Each creak of the saddle and rustle of leaves seems to whisper a name: Jamie. The narrator's voice enters softly, calm but heavy with meaning. Some voices never fade. They live between the wind and the heartbeat, calling us back to where we once belonged. As Claire moves deeper into the woods, the light shifts, the world tinted in soft gray, the line between past and present blurring. She pauses as she hears something faint, not the wind, not the rain, but a voice, deep and warm. Echoing through the trees, "Dinna be afraid, Sassenach." Her eyes widen. The sound isn't imagined. It feels real, alive, as if the air itself remembers him. She dismounts slowly, stepping onto the wet ground. Every sound is magnified, her breathing, the crunch of twigs, the gentle roll of thunder above. "Jamie," she whispers. No one answers, yet a soft warmth brushes past her. Like an unseen hand, the narrator continues. His tone almost like a prayer, in love that defies centuries. Presence is never lost, it only changes shape. The heart remembers what time forgets. Claire kneels beside a stream, running her fingers through the cold water. It feels familiar, the same place perhaps where they once camped long ago. She looks down and sees something half buried beneath a stone. A small silver ring, its edges tarnished but unmistakable. The inscription still faintly visible, Dami Basia Mil. Her breath catches. Tears fill her eyes. "You kept it here." "All this time," she says softly, her voice trembling between disbelief and devotion. Flashback Jamie, placing the ring on her finger, the firelight dancing in his eyes, his voice a whisper, 1,000 kisses. Mo Nyan Dan. The present returns, and the forest grows still again. Claire holds the ring close to her chest. "He's here," she whispers. "Somehow he's guiding me." The narrator's voice deepens. Every step she takes now is guided by echoes, the touch of memory, the pull of destiny. The map may lead her path, but it is love that lights the way. She mounts her horse once more, the rain easing into a gentle drizzle. The clouds begin to break, revealing faint sunlight filtering through the mist. A rainbow glimmers faintly in the distance, fragile, fleeting, yet beautiful. Claire looks toward it, the letter pressed against her heart. "He wanted me to find him," she says. "And now, I will find our son." The wind picks up, carrying her words into the valley. The faint sound of a man's laughter drifts through the air. Jamie's soft and distant. Like the memory of a dream, the narrator closes in a whisper. Sometimes, love doesn't die, it lingers, waiting for the right soul to listen. And Claire, for the first time in years, can finally hear it again. The camera pans upward, the Highlands stretching endlessly beneath the sky. The sound of hoofbeats returns, echoing over the hills as the screen fades slowly to black. The sky burns with the colors of dusk, gold bleeding into crimson, fading into the quiet blue of evening. The air is still heavy with the kind of silence that only comes before something life-changing. Claire stands at the edge of a clearing, the world around her painted in soft light. Her journey through years, through heartbreak, through time itself, has brought her here. She doesn't move. She just listens. The sound of distant hoofbeats echoes through the valley. The narrator's voice enters calm, haunting, filled with the weight of fate. There are moments when the world seems to stop turning, when time, love, and truth finally collide. Claire grips Jamie's letter in her hands. Her heart pounds as the sound draws closer, the steady rhythm of a horse's gait, the pulse of destiny. From the shadows of the trees, a rider appears. William, his posture strong, his presence commanding the reflection of a man she once loved. For a long moment, Claire can't breathe. She watches him dismount, his movements sharp, yet graceful. The same calm confidence that once belonged to Jamie now lives in this stranger, her son. She doesn't call out. She doesn't dare. Instead, she studies his face in the fading light, the curve of his jaw, the flame in his eyes, the hint of Jamie in every detail. He doesn't know, she whispers under her breath. Not yet. The narrator continues, voice trembling with quiet power. How do you tell a man that the blood in his veins carries the weight of a history he never knew? How do you speak the truth when your heart is too full to breathe? William turns, his eyes catching hers. For a brief second, time fractures past and present overlap. The wind lifts her hair as the sound of the world fades away. In his expression, confusion flickers into something deeper, recognition, though he cannot name it. He steps closer. Are you lost, madam? His voice is polite, distant, yet there's something in his tone that shakes her. The echo of Jamie's warmth hides in his words. Claire forces a small smile. No, she says softly, her voice trembling. I think I've found what I was looking for. The camera tightens on her face, tears gathering but never falling. The narrator's voice lowers to a whisper. Some truths are too fragile to speak aloud. Some must be carried in the eyes where love hides its oldest memories. William studies her for a moment, sensing something he can't explain, a connection unspoken, a pull he doesn't understand. Do I know you? He asks quietly. The question hangs in the air like a heartbeat. Claire's lips part, but no words come. The fire in her chest burns, but she swallows the truth. Perhaps, she says finally, from another time. The wind picks up again, rustling the leaves. The letter in her hand flutters slightly, Jamie's handwriting catching the dying light. The narrator concludes the moment, voice steady and haunting. Fate has brought them face to face, but truth has its own time. And for now, the past stands silently between them, waiting to be heard. The camera pulls back, Claire and William framed against the vast Highland landscape. Two souls bound by blood, yet separated by years of silence. The sun dips below the horizon, and the screen fades slowly into twilight. Night falls gently over the Highlands. The world seems to hold its breath, stars scattered across the sky, like pieces of forgotten stories. A fire burns softly between Claire and William, its light flickering against their faces. The long silence between them stretches, thick and fragile. Claire's heart beats so loudly she can almost hear it echo off the hills. The narrator's voice begins, calm yet heavy with emotion. Truth waits for no one. It lingers in the spaces between words, aching to be spoken, even when it changes everything. William pokes at the fire absently, his brow furrowed in quiet thought. He glances toward her, curiosity shadowed by something else, a strange familiarity that refuses to fade. You look at me as if you've known me all my life, he says softly. Claire swallows hard. The words she's rehearsed for hours suddenly feel impossible. The flames crackle, and for a brief moment, she sees Jamie's face in the light, smiling, waiting, urging her on. She closes her eyes. Perhaps I have, she whispers. William frowns slightly. What do you mean? The air grows still. Even the wind seems to pause as she opens her hand, revealing Jamie's ring, the one she found near the stream. Its silver catches the firelight, glowing faintly. She places it on the ground between them. "This belonged to your father," she says, her voice trembling. To Jamie Fraser. The world seems to shatter in that instant. William's expression freezes, confusion giving way to disbelief, disbelief to shock. "My father?" he repeats, barely above a whisper. Claire nods slowly, her eyes glistening with tears. "You are his son, William. You always were." Silence fills the air, deep and endless. The fire crackles louder now, its warmth clashing with the chill that's crept into his heart. William rises abruptly, pacing in disbelief. "That's not possible," he mutters. "My father was Lord Ellesmere. My life was built on a lie you were never meant to live," Claire interrupts gently. "Jamie gave you up to protect you, to keep you safe from a world that would have destroyed him and you." William's eyes glisten in the firelight. His jaw tightens. "And you? Who are you in all this?" "Claire." The sound of a heartbeat fades in low, heavy, uncertain. A whisper of wind sweeps through the Scottish Highlands. Then a voice, calm yet filled with emotion, breaks the silence. "What if the past never truly lets you go? What if the one truth you've hidden finds its way back to you?" The screen flashes with quick, powerful images. Claire's tear-streaked face. Jamie turning away into the fog, and the shadow of a young man standing at dawn. The narrator continues. Outlander Season 8 begins, not with a battle, but with a discovery that will change every. The sun rises slowly over the misty Scottish hills. Claire walks along a dirt path, her boots sinking slightly into the wet earth. Her voice, soft yet burdened, echoes in the air. "It's strange how time bends, how it loops back to haunt you. I thought I had left the past behind. But the past never leaves, does it?" She pauses near an old stone wall, running her fingers across its cold surface. The memories begin to flood in Jamie's laughter, the touch of his hand, the weight of goodbye. The narrator speaks gently. Years have passed since Claire and Jamie were torn apart by time's cruel design. Wars have been fought, lives rebuilt, but a mother's heart never forgets. As the camera drifts across the Scottish moors, we see brief flashes from earlier seasons. Jamie holding infant William before partying. Claire staring into the firelight, whispering his name. The narrator continues. The boy who once cried in her arms now walks as a man, unknowing, unseeing, a ghost of a love she buried in silence. The wind picks up. Papers rustle in Claire's hands, a bundle of letters, faded by age and folded with care. One bears a name she never thought she'd read again, William Ransom. Her breath catches. The world seems to still. Fate, the narrator says, has its way of circling back when we least expect it. And for Claire Fraser, fate has come knocking once more. The sound of a distant horse breaks the quiet. Claire looks up, her eyes sharp yet trembling. In the distance, a rider disappears into the fog, his posture firm, his movement familiar. A whisper escapes her lips. It can't be. The camera pans to her face as realization begins to form, a truth so long hidden it aches to surface. Could it be him? She whispers. The narrator's voice deepens, drawing the audience closer. The past is alive. The bloodline is calling. And in the heart of Scotland, a forgotten bond is about to awaken. The heartbeat returns, faster now, echoing with tension and memory. Fade to black. Thing Claire thought she knew. The storm clouds gather over the horizon as thunder rumbles softly across the moors. Claire stands inside an old cottage, its walls heavy with silence. Dust dances in the air, stirred by the faint light filtering through a cracked window. On the wooden table before her lies a small box, one she's never seen before. Yet something inside her knows it was meant for her hands. Her fingers tremble as she lifts the lid. Inside rests a folded letter, yellowed with age, the ink faded, but still legible. The voice of the narrator breaks the stillness, low and steady. Sometimes, the past speaks not in words, but in whispers. And when you finally listen, it changes everything. Claire's eyes scan the first few lines. The voiceover follows her thoughts. to the one who carries both time and truth in her heart. She pauses, the air thick with emotion. The writing is familiar, steady, strong, and heartbreakingly precise. Jamie's hand. Her breath catches, years collapsing in an instant. A flashback flickers across the screen. Jamie sitting by candlelight, his face shadowed, writing this very letter. He looks tired, older, but filled with love. "If ever ye find him," he writes, "tell him. Tell him he was always my son." The screen returns to Claire's tearful eyes. Her voice shakes as she whispers, "William." Outside, the rain begins to fall, tapping against the roof like a heartbeat. The narrator continues. For years, William Ransom lived in another world, far from the truth that binds him. Raised in the light of another name, unaware of the blood that flows within him. Claire steps out into the rain, her shawl soaked instantly, her eyes searching the horizon. Every drop feels like time washing away the lies. "He deserves to know," she says softly, as if speaking to the ghost of Jamie himself. A gust of wind slams the door behind her, and for a moment, we glimpse a shadow, Jamie's silhouette, in the flash of lightning. Watching her from the past, the music swells, strings pulling at the heart. But time, the narrator whispers, is not so easily undone. To uncover the truth is to wake every ghost that guards it. The camera pans up to the stormy sky. Where lightning illuminates the hills, the same hills William rides through unknowingly. His path drawing closer to Claire's, the narrator's tone deepens. Two paths, carved by love and loss, are about to collide. The past is reaching forward, and the future can no longer wait. A close-up of Claire, gripping Jamie's letter. Her voice steadies, filled with quiet determination. "I'll find him, no matter what it costs me." Thunder cracks. The letter trembles in her hand. The screen fades to black. The morning mist rolls over the Highlands like a living veil, swallowing the hills in silver fog. Claire stands at the edge of an old trail, her hair damp from the dew, the wind brushing strands across her face. The letter she found now rests inside her coat pocket, close to her heart. Her eyes, though weary, hold a fire that refuses to die. The narrator's voice echoes softly. Filled with quiet gravity, there are moments when time stands still. When the world seems to hold its breath, waiting for you to take the first step toward destiny, Claire takes that step. The crunch of gravel under her boots breaks the silence. The camera follows her through the fog as the faint sound of bagpipes hums in the distance, an echo of the past, haunting and familiar. Each footstep feels guided, as though the very ground remembers her name. Fate doesn't whisper in words. The narrator continues. It moves through the air, the sound of a distant hoofbeat, the flicker of a forgotten flame. Claire stops at a crossroad marked by weathered stones. She kneels, brushing her hand across one of them. Etched faintly into the rock are initials WR. Her pulse quickens. For a moment, she forgets to breathe. "William Ransom," she murmurs, her voice breaking the stillness. A gust of wind answers her, as if the world itself has heard the name. Lightning flashes far off, illuminating a lone rider crossing a ridge. His silhouette is clear, tall, commanding, and achingly familiar. The narrator's voice deepens. The son of the past now walks the paths of his father. Unaware that the truth rides close behind, camera cuts to William, his face shadowed beneath his hat, his expression sharp, his eyes full of purpose. A soldier's poise, a Fraser's spirit. His horse slows as if sensing something unseen. Claire, hidden by the fog, watches from below. Her heart races as tears gather in her eyes. She reaches out a trembling hand, though he is far from her grasp. "After all this time," she whispers, "he doesn't know me. Not yet." The narrator's tone turns haunting, poetic. Two souls bound by blood, yet strangers by fate. One searches for answers. The other carries them unknowingly. Rain begins to fall, light at first, then stronger. Claire clutches the letter beneath her cloak, as if it were a lifeline. If love can travel through centuries, the narrator says, perhaps it can cross this distance too. As William disappears into the fog, Claire's expression hardens, the sorrow replaced by resolve. "No more running from ghosts," she says firmly. "It's time he knew who he is. Music swells, strings rising with emotion as thunder rolls again across the sky. The narrator closes softly, almost like a prophecy. In the heart of the storm, truth awaits, and destiny, once patient, will not wait much longer. The screen fades to black. The echo of hoofbeats lingering like a heartbeat between worlds, rain lashes against the window pane as thunder murmurs in the distance. The world outside is wrapped in darkness, but inside the small candlelit room, time feels still, suspended between memory and revelation. Claire sits at an old oak table, the flickering flame casting shadows across her face. In front of her lies the letter once more, Jamie's handwriting, bold yet tender, inked in the language of love and loss. Her hand trembles slightly as she opens it again. The paper soft from wear, the scent faintly of smoke and pine remnants of the Highlands. The narrator's voice enters, low and steady. Some letters are not written to be read. They are written to be found when the soul is ready to remember. Claire begins to read aloud, her voice soft but breaking. If the day comes when truth must meet the light, dinna fear it, Sasonic. For our hearts were never meant to hide in shadow. If you find him, tell him I never stopped watching the horizon for him. Her eyes glisten as the words echo in her heart. A tear slips down her cheek, tracing the years of silence she carried. The candle flickers as if stirred by the whisper of his name. Jamie, she turns the paper over and notices something she hadn't seen before. A faint mark pressed into the page. It's not ink, but an impression from Jamie's seal. She holds it closer to the flame, and there, hidden beneath the wax, is a small symbol. The Fraser crest, intertwined with a new mark, the letter W. He marked it for him, she breathes, her voice filled with awe. For William, the narrator continues softly, words carried like wind. Even across time, love leaves its breadcrumbs. Not to be followed blindly, but to remind us that truth, no matter how far buried, always finds its way home.